Hey, and good morning and happy May 2nd. Cracking open a LaCroix, man. Not a sponsor. But LaCroix, if you come across this, maybe I should start hashtagging an at. I don't know. Either way, I like this stuff and it keeps me off the pop. Or soda. Whatever part of the country you're listening to. The sugary, bubbly stuff known as Coke, Pepsi, Mountain Dew, Dr. Pepper. Actually, Mountain Dew. Never really got into that shit. Thank God. I hope everybody's doing good this morning. There's the sip. It's been going on for years. Whatever. Yeah, we're back. I know it's been a little bit of a hiatus, so to speak. To be honest with y'all, not much going on. Quit ice fishing a while ago. We'll get into that. I mean, I pretty much took all winter off. But, yeah, we'll get into that later. But, as far as spring goes, I mean, we're at that point now where nobody's really doing anything because you can't really ice fish. And boats are, just getting pulled out of storage. There's a few guys going up to the Rainy River and whatnot for sturgeon now. But the last I heard from my good buddy Crafty is the river up there is just ripping hard. 8 to 10 ounces of lead to keep crawlers on the bottom for sturgeon. That just doesn't sound like a good time to me. But hey, man, if you're into it, fucking let it rip. Let it rip. Yeah, we're back on the old microphone now. Before I was using a headset. Decided to bust out the old Rode. And I'm not an audio professional by any means, but I do like this setup a little bit better. I don't know if it sounds any better. I mean, whatever. A lot of whatevers today. I don't know if it's because it's been raining here for the last 3 days or whatnot, but I'm just kind of in that whatever mood. Don't really have an opinion on it. But before we get into it, I want to just give a big thank you to Ridgetop Outdoors, a supporter of the Lone Angler podcast. And thank you guys. A few of you have stopped in there in your travels, and I've gotten some feedback, or you've sent me a picture from, outside the store and sent it to my Instagram, which is really cool, man. So thanks for stopping in there. I hope you had a good time there, picked up a few things. Their 1 year anniversary is coming up fast. And if you go to their Instagram page, just search Ridgetop Outdoors, Bemidji, Minnesota, you'll come across it. They've got some events and stuff going on. I should have wrote it down. I didn't, but I'll get it on the next one here. I'm hoping to get out another episode this week, so I'll try to update you on that. But yeah, they got a little crappie contest going on. They've got some drawings and prizes for their 1 year birthday. So that's exciting, and congrats to Ridgetop Outdoors. Hey, we wouldn't be here without Panfish Pursuers P3 Plastics. I know. Those guys are fantastic. And, the ice is going away. But that doesn't mean that your, P3s that you picked up for wintertime aren't any good. They're still going to be awesome, especially in early ice. Or not early ice, but, freshly opened water. When the water temp's cool, you're still going to want to use some of your ice jigs and tipping them with your winter plastics. But I want to bring up right now, since we're starting to see waves out there, their open water lineup. They have the Super Scuttle and they have the Copy XL. The Super Scuttle I used a little bit last year. Actually, I used it quite a bit last year. Pretty awesome bait. It sits really well on a 1/16 or even a 1/8 ounce jig. That's right, you heard that correctly, 1/8 ounce. I do use that for bluegills and crappies. More so for crappies, but if I'm on some giant gills, I'll use 1/8 ounce. They hold up pretty good. They got a lot of little phalanges, or little flappers that stick out. It's the scuttle that you know and love that you used to the ice. It's just way bigger. Same thing with the Copy XL. It's just way bigger. Now the Copy XL, I have a few of, and I use them. Crappies really dig them. They are a big bait. And I'll bet you any money you throw that on a Ned rig or a Ned head or gopher tackle mushroom head jig, finessing for smallmouth bass or largemouth bass, it would shine it would shine at that. So if you want to take a look at those, head on over to p-3plastics.com. Use the code OGSPUG15, SPUG with 2 G's, and save yourself 15% on your order. So without further ado, let's get into some lone angler shit, huh?
All right, fools, it's Monday, and what better way to kick off the week than with some fool wisdom. So it's for my homeboys, all right? So every time you guys use the restroom, you make it a point to put the toilet seat back down for your lady, correct? Now ask yourself this. When's the last time your lady left the toilet seat up for you? Know your worth, homeboy.
All right. Hey, and in this installment of the Lone Angler podcast, we're going to talk about some seasonal change. The heir to the Goblin throne is arriving, and I am super excited about that. And a big bulk of what we're going to talk about now is what the title of this podcast is. Looking back to go forward. So I think we should just dive right into it, right?
Wow. Crazy. You're crazy, girl.
All right, guys. Oh, man. I'll tell you what. I touched on it earlier. I said I was in this like whatever mood, and I don't know if it's just because it's been raining for 3 days straight up here. I think it started Friday afternoon, and went on through Sunday, pretty much on and off all day. I think Saturday pretty much rained all day, which has turned a lot of the ice up here around the Bemidji area pretty dark. Now, a few episodes ago, I was talking shit about, hey man, I think we're going to have some serious issues come walleye opener here the second weekend in May, that a lot of guys won't be able to put their boats in, but it has changed really, really fast in a short period of time. I know I drive by the south end of Lake Bemidji every day for work, to and from, and it just gets more and more open. And it always starts right there at the mouth of the channel between Bemidji and Irvin. And I would be willing to bet, and I didn't swing down there today to take a look, but I'd be willing to bet that I'd say the south end of that lake is pretty close to being completely open. And probably all the way up to, I don't know, somewhere about halfway up to Diamond Point. I'm willing to bet. We've had a lot of rain and wind. Wind really helps move things along a lot faster. And I've been following Will Pappenfuss there on Snapchat and Instagram, and he manages Northwoods Bait and Tackle up there on the north end of Lake Bemidji, and he's been kind of keeping everybody up to speed on the north end. Now, the north end is notorious for letting go of ice pretty late, but it looked bad up there. It looks really, really dark. I might have to take a cruise one night after work and check out some of the smaller lakes, those little gems that are tucked back in the woods, and see how they're doing. But it's just crazy how quick things can change in a matter of a week. I mean, last week and the week before, we weren't breaking 20 degrees above, and we actually had snow, like enough snow to be plowing, and which was super disheartening. Myself, I was like, just like everybody else around town here, just bitter. Didn't want to talk to nobody. Was pretty crabby about it, because we had some teaser weather, where it was 50 degrees, the snow was all gone. You wake up the next morning and bam, it's all back again. And it did that like 3 or 4 times. It was just relentless. But I think we're past that shit now. Thank God. But it gives me time to sit and tie some flies, which I've been tinkering around with. I've built a few streamers, and I get done with them and I'm just not happy with them. So I haven't been sealing them up. I just been kind of cutting them and throwing the stuff away. And if I, have some dumbbell brass eyes or lead eyes on there, I'll just save them and I'll retie. And part of me regrets doing that, because I should have held on to them and used them to, remind myself that, hey, you started. at one time, and this is what they looked like, and they sucked. To your standards, they might have been fine. I don't know, but it's all part of learning how to do things, I guess. And but it's been a lot of fun, and I know I talk a lot about fly fishing up here, and I'm really passionate about it, and I don't know anything about it, and I am learning about it, and it's really exciting. There's a lot of ands in that sentence. I need to learn how to talk. Ooh, here's big news. Coming up on Wednesday, May 4th. For those of you in the know, you know what day that is. For those of you that don't, well, it's Star Wars Day. And I'm really excited about that. And I wanted to mention that. So it's my show. I'm going to go ahead and mention Star Wars Day. It's been, I've talked about it a billion times on here. It's an important part of my life. I'm reading the books, introducing my daughter to them, and I'll never not be a fan. And I always look forward to May the 4th. So hopefully I'll get a podcast out, another episode out by then, and then I can utter the phrase to you or mumble the phrase to you. The phrase that annoys people. I'm going to go ahead and say it on that day. So I just thought I'd drop that for all of you Star Wars fans. I know you don't forget, but if we got new fans that are like, what's going on? What's the big deal? Yeah, it's when Star Wars New Hope came out. May 4th. Now, I just mentioned my daughter a minute ago. And yes, the heir to the Goblin's throne. And I just came up with that the other day when I texted her mom and said, hey, it's been a few days. I'd like to talk to the heir to the Goblin's throne. Now, the response I got back from her mom wasn't what I expected. There wasn't like oh my God, you got to stop this goblin talk stuff, or you're ridiculous, or that's funny. It was just, we're at the movies. Which I was like, well, okay. You miss 100% of the shots that you don't take. So, I was going for some comedic value in my text messaging. Excuse me. Wow. The LaCroix. There's that Sprite chugging challenge going around on TikTok. I wonder if they've done a LaCroix one. I'll bet you they already have. This stuff makes me burp. Anyway, I finally got to talk to Ellen Ray, and her plane ticket's been bought. So excited. She wants to know what day she's leaving, and if we tell her now, then that's the only thing that she's going to be focusing on, and she still has a bunch of school left to do and all that kind of stuff. So we just told her, hey, your ticket's been bought. She's like, I know, I'm excited. When am I going, Dad? I can't remember. And then, she's 9 and she's pretty smart. So I get these smirky looks, and she kind of understands that we're not going to tell her right away. But so excited. And I've been on the hunt for a tent. I was going to buy a tent for us to try out some like legitimate camping. Well, it was her idea. Wasn't my idea. And my back is already kind of like, yeah, I don't think this is a good idea. But anyway, I'm still on the hunt for a tent. Like I said, I was going to buy one, but I'm not going to do that. So I got a few people looking around to see if they got some tents for me. As much as my back might be sore about it, I'm really looking forward to the experience. Ellen has stated multiple times that she wants to camp next to running water. And over back, let's see, I'm trying to think here. Yeah, I think I got a spot or two where I can make that happen over in St. Louis County. Just east of here, by my parents' house. And if I can have her experience that, I'm going to do my best. But so she's really excited about that. And like I said, she wants to really fish hard. One of the things that she did say in our recent conversation was Dad, I want my own fishing rod and reel. Well, I've given her a fishing rod and reel. It's actually, it was her mom's when her mom and I were in college. It's a decent little outfit, a little Shimano ultralight, and I think I put a different reel on there now. I can't remember exactly what it was, but she really enjoyed it. But it seems like she wants to pick out her own and buy her own. So with that being said, I think first thing we're going to do when she gets here, her plane is coming into Minneapolis. So we might take an afternoon when she gets in the morning, I believe. We'll take the afternoon and maybe we'll stop at like Thorn Brothers down there in Blaine, Minnesota. Look around. Maybe we can pick out a little something for her. She has expressed interest in fly fishing, but I already have 2 rods and we're going to be good to go there. If she really gets into it, maybe over the winter time, maybe Christmas, Santa Claus will bring her a fly rod and reel combo. You never know, which I'm sure Santa Claus can arrange that to happen. But yeah, we're really excited. We got all kinds of plans, from fishing and photography to camping to going to movies. I mean, it's just going to be awesome. And I hope the weather holds out well. And it's not smoking hot or constantly raining, something like that. I don't know, man. I talk about the weather a lot, and it's because I'm 48 now. And I think I've reached that point where that's the highlight of my life. And then that also sets in some thought processes of maybe I need to do more. I used to take pride in sitting up here in the Goblin's Den by myself, doing what I do, whatever it is that I do. But maybe it's time. Maybe it's time to let go of the creature comforts of home, get out there in the public a little bit more than just grocery shopping. Yeah. We'll see. What else we got going on, man? I'm telling you. Oh, yeah. Just kind of getting my brain adjusted here. Looking back to move forward. This has been something that I've been doing the last couple weeks. And what I mean by looking back to move forward is I was looking back on this last winter, last summer, last fall, last spring. Looking back about a year, because beyond that, I don't really remember. And some people say, don't look back. The past is the past. Move forward. Grow. Well, in my opinion, the way my brain works anyway is sometimes you got to look back. You got to look back and find the errors, find the successes, and pick those apart and see if you can apply any lessons learned from either one of those to move forward. A couple of things in my looking back to moving forward exercise was one, my health, and looking back to say last fall, last summer, I wasn't doing anything. I wasn't working out. I wasn't watching what I was eating. I just was living, I guess, buying a lot of fast food, drinking pop, all kinds of garbage like that. Candy bars. Well, not so much candy bars. Reese's peanut butter cups, M&Ms. Those are my vices. The rest of them, maybe the occasional Kit Kat. Had a deep love affair with ice cream. Ben & Jerry's in particular. What else? I really didn't do anything different last year. I mean, I fished, I float tubed, talked about it a lot. I guess that was a different experience to bring to you guys, but it's something that I've experienced many, many times, even prior to the thought of having a podcast. I did it back in college. But it felt good to do that again. Some of the successes were, getting my flow tube rigged up. I got some electronics on there, which is kind of cool. Nothing crazy. Little Garmin Striker 4. Just a little guy. And it's helped out. I learned some things from there. I was able to mark some spots on some lakes that I didn't know that were there, that were holding nice fish. Also looking back though, I had a lot of trouble with flow tubing because of my weight and because of the condition I was in. When I wasn't exercising, I'd get winded pretty fast. I'd want to go home early because I was tired and my legs hurt. So this season, I'm looking forward even more so getting in the flow tube after having spent quite a bit of time in the gym and losing quite a bit of weight. Looking back on it last year, I wasn't cooking hardly any meals. If I was, it was a big old greasy ass cheeseburger. Sometimes 2 of them at a time. This year, things are different. I'm cooking my own food. Matter of fact, I just put up a picture of some food and the ingredients and the caloric breakdown of my little lunch, which is something that I never did before. And that hits kind of weird. And it's because I'm proud. I'm proud of what I'm doing in the kitchen because I'm doing myself a favor by tracking all that stuff and eating low-calorie meals with higher protein. And yeah, sure, I could probably even go a step further and really clean that stuff up, but I don't have, and here's an excuse. And maybe it shouldn't be an excuse. Maybe it's something I should do. But as of right now, I'm just trying to get things under control. And maybe in the future, I will break down those and see if I can do that even better, by buying cleaner ingredients. The last couple weeks, as far as my diet is concerned, or as far, the nutrients or whatever, I'm really got to keep track of my sodium intake. Not because I have heart problems or anything like that, but I feel a little bloated and I'm not paying attention real close to the amount of sodium I take in. And it was my good friend Aaron who tipped me off to that. He's like, yo, I know you're drinking like Zero Monsters or Monster Zero, the white can and stuff. He goes, but spin that bad boy around and get past the zero sugar, zero this, and check out the sodium content in that. It's off the charts. It's crazy. So I've already cut that out. That's a hard one to cut out because I have a pretty good tolerance and a pretty good addiction to caffeine. So what I'm doing is I've switched over to the Bang energy drink, which is probably even worse for you, but there isn't hardly the amount of sodium in it. And I get one can every other day. Where before I was buying, I'd see the monsters, buy 2, get 1 free. So I'd buy 3 like every other day. So I've already trimmed that down. And then I'm going to start dabbling in cold brew coffee. I've tried it before, but I want to do this stuff at home. And again, my buddy that has really been instrumental in my success so far was talking about cold brew and how he mixes it with like a protein drink, like a sea salt caramel protein drink. Now that sounds like it'd be all right. I get my hit of caffeine. I get some of that sweet caramel, salted caramel goodness without any sugar. Pretty awesome. And speaking of sugar, that's something I don't even pay attention to. It's just the food that I'm eating is low in sugar, and I get under 50 grams of sugar a day. So that's really made a big difference in what I'm doing. But with all that nutrition and cooking my own food and being proud of the meals that I cook and all that stuff, what's always been on the forefront of my mind is how is this going to affect my fishing in a positive way? Well, I'm a float tuber. I'm going to have more energy. I'm going to be able to fish longer, go further distances. I'm also looking forward to the float tube also shaving off a few extra pounds here and there because I will be, my legs are my outboard. And I think overall it's going to have an extremely good, positive impact on my style of fishing. And I'm excited for it. I'm really, really excited for it. I also know that my attitude and my overall general happiness has shifted to a little bit more on the better side of things because I feel better about me. I feel better about the food that I'm consuming, and I'm generally a happier person. So lots of fringe benefits have been happening with my weight loss thing. And I really think that this time around, being that I'm not trying some fad thing or something crazy, like I was doing intermittent fasting a couple years back. That was crazy. Why was I doing that? Yeah, I lost a few pounds, but man, it just totally fucked up my metabolism, and that's what happened with me. For some people it works. In the diet I'm doing, it works for me, but it might not work for everybody. But it's working for me, and I think that's important. And that also translates to fishing. What works for person X may not work for you and your area. And I've found that out over the years, and that was part of my looking back to grow, to move forward. Looking back at how I approached fishing last year, I really didn't do too much different. And I think that's what kind of set this whole fly fishing thing into motion. Was I really didn't do anything, and I didn't have a desire to do anything different. I was just like fishing because that's a part of my identity, I believe. I mean, I enjoy it, but that's part of my identity. And I wanted to do something completely different. And I knew that going on this fly fishing journey was going to pretty much be me alone. Crafty has said, he's thinking about maybe dabbling in it a little bit, which would be cool. I'm not going to force it upon him and be like, that's all we're going to do. No, man, because he is him and I am me. And I am totally fine with going on some fly fishing ventures alone. And also alone in maybe his boat. I might just bring my fly rod and that's it, depending on what we're doing. And that's okay. And that's okay, man. What else did I look back on? My general attitude over the winter. Just didn't want to do it no more. Just didn't want to do it that year. I went out 4 times. I just went out to go out. I felt I'll be honest with you, and Crafty, if you're listening, man, we've already had this discussion. There was a couple times I went just because I felt bad for turning you down so many times. I mean, I still have fun. I had fun with you, but I just didn't hardly fish. I maybe drilled, a couple holes and that was it, and was just kind of like, well, I'm just going to sit here and fish until we leave. It wasn't the old Patrick. It was like, all right, let's formulate a plan. There's nothing here. Let's go here. Let's try this. Let's break up. Let's start shallow, work deep, or the other way. Let's start deep, work shallow. Let's fish different times, whatever. I just wasn't into it, and I needed a break. And part of looking back to be better in the future was I've done this before. I stopped fishing for like 6 or 7 years at one point. And that was in the, mid to late 90s to early 2000s. I was playing darts. Yeah, spending most of my time in bars playing darts. But I had a goal and I set out and I played until I achieved that goal. And then I went the following day after we won. Me and 3 other guys won the Masters 501 state championship. The day after that, I hooked the boat, my little 14-foot boat that I had at the time, hooked it up in the back of my S10 Blazer, and I went fishing, put the darts away. I'm just that kind of person. I get hyper fixated on something, and I'll do that, and then I just stop. And I may revisit it like I did fishing, thankfully, but it was a really, really nice break. And I'm hoping that what I did this winter will be enough for me to get excited about going out and drilling some holes again. And I've talked about it before on here. The other part of taking this last winter off was to focus on my working out and getting my food intake and getting my diet lined out so that I can achieve those goals. I can multitask to a certain point, but this time around, because I know how fishing trips go, I've been on plenty of them. You start living on gas station food, shitty boat snacks, which when I say shitty, no, they taste amazing. They're super good. They're sleeves of Oreos and candy bars and, energy drinks and beers and all sandwiches and all this other kind of stuff. I just knew that I couldn't be around that kind of stuff. And I wanted to get my stuff under control first to benefit me so that I can live a little bit longer and Ellen and I can have a little bit more fun. And if that meant me taking a winter off of ice fishing and just focusing on that, then so be it. I have no regrets. Matter of fact, I have been already thinking about this upcoming, the 23-24 ice fishing season. Yeah. Am I like hyper focused on it? Absolutely not. But I am looking forward to it. I'm hoping, I'm going to adjust the microphone here a little bit. I'm hoping that the old Patrick, the excited for ice fishing Patrick comes back. And if he does, man, it's going to be awesome. If he doesn't, and if he comes back 50%, if I go double what I went last year, I'll be happy. If I go more than that, it'll be great. I'll feel like, all right, I'm back doing the ice fishing thing because I do love it. But I just needed that break. But if I don't do it at all for a second year in a row, that's okay too. Who knows? Maybe this fly fishing business over the summer will really consume me. And when the lakes freeze up, I'll be like, all right, I have all the fly tying material that I could ever want. And I just sit up here and tie. And as I say that, I'm already thinking about, well, maybe you shouldn't do that, dude, because you could get sick of that pretty quick too. So maybe try to split it up. I don't know. We'll see when we get there. But it's only May 2nd. And I'm already thinking about a little bit of ice fishing. How cool is that? Speaking of ice fishing, I got some stuff for sale. Some ice fishing stuff. I've been going through, man. I've got way too much stuff. Way too much stuff. If you're interested in anything or you want to see a list of what I've got for sale, shoot me a direct message there on the old Instagram if you're following the Lone Angler, or Minnesota Chomp, mnchomp, Patrick Olson. I got 2 Instagrams. And shoot me a message and I'll try to get a little list of some stuff that I have right now that I know of. I got a couple fish houses, some ice rods. Oh my God, I'm trying to think what else I got going on. I got various tackle bags, maybe even some tackle storage systems, possibly some tackle. I'm not 100% sure because there's a lot of it that I have that I don't even really use. I'm still going through stuff. So, if it interests you, just go ahead and shoot me a message on Instagram. I'd be happy to chat with you on that. But yeah, man, I'm in a really good place and I'm pretty happy. I'm pretty content. Really looking forward to this summer though. It's awesome. I'm going to try to enjoy spring. Spring, I mean, yeah, the snow leaves and stuff, but spring has always been kind of gross. My sister and I were talking about that several years ago. Several years ago. And she made a point, and then I started noticing it too. Like, spring is kind of gross. The snow melts, and the ditches are full of garbage, and the yard looks like shit. There's dog poop everywhere, and, if you got a dog, I guess. And it's just kind of like, meh. So, but it's also nice to see that snow leave. That's for dang sure. Oh, man. I guess my advice to you guys is if you feel like you're stuck in a rut or you need to change something, but you don't have the time, you got to make the time. And if something needs to be paused to make that time for something that you need to correct or you have an interest in, it's okay. I've done it a few times and I'm not afraid to do it anymore. Because that thing that you love that you hit pause on, it'll be there. It'll always be there. It won't disappear. And that's something that I learned over time. And it's okay to do that. And I think it's a good practice to do once in a while. If you're not that type of person and you can manage your time really well and you can do all the things that you want to do, my hat's off to you. And I can't do that because I'm one of those type people that has an interest in a lot of things, like a shit ton of things. I mean, a majority of my videos that I watch on YouTube now are woodworking shit. And I don't even have I own a DeWalt drill that I use for an ice auger. And I have a DeWalt screw gun and a couple little cheap drills. I don't even have a wood shop, but I find the creative process fascinating, and I could really get into that. Thankfully, I don't have the startup money for that kind of stuff. But I had a 3D printer here. I plan on having another 3D printer here. And that, I get into it. I enjoy that kind of stuff. My interests are all over the map. Hell, I just talked about Star Wars Day. And as I'm sitting here talking to you, I'm kind of daydreaming about how cool would it be to just hop on a plane and head down to Disney, either Florida or California, and attend May 4th Star Wars Day. I would do that in a heartbeat. I also sat here Saturday night and with my sketchbook, and I just drew for a while because that's super fun. Ellen's mom sent me some pictures on Sunday. Her and Ellen were painting, and I texted back to her. I said, when I was down there in March, Ellen and she convinced me, let's go paint. And I wasn't a big fan of painting because it was kind of a mess. But we did it, and I loved it. I loved every minute of it. It was so relaxing. I painted a pretty cool pickle Rick because I like Rick and Morty. I think that shit's fantastic. And Ellen still has it up in her room, but when I got back here, I ended up buying a few small canvases. I think they're 5x7. And I got some really nice acrylic paints, and I keep forgetting to pick up some decent brushes. But I want to start painting because I really, really enjoyed it. And what happened was when I was painting that pickle Rick, I did things differently after watching a bunch of art videos and stuff over the years and watching creative people do things. And I painted it differently, and the results were awesome, and I loved it. And now I know how to do it, and now I want to do it more. So, like I said, my interests are all over the place. So sometimes I have to pause some things. So if you're one of those type people, it's okay to pause something you really love to do. Just go back to it later if you want. It's all good, man. It's all good. This fly fishing thing that I'm doing, it might be just a big long pause. I might do it for 3-4 years and then put the fly rods up. I don't know. And there's a little bit of fun in that unknown, for me anyway. But anyway, I just wanted to send that message to you. Just let you guys know where my head's at. Because sometimes I don't know where my head's at. I'm not crazy. I'm just a little bit out there. But I appreciate all of you guys listening to the Lone Angler podcast. It's going to get better. Like I said, we're in this lull of outdoor activities, so to speak. Now, this happened on Friday night. I got a phone call from my buddy. Hey man, why don't you come on over and hang out? I was like, fuck it, sure, man. And that was part of me leaving the Goblin's Den. Usually when I'm here, I'm locked in. And I decided, nope, this time I'm going to go. When I get the invite, I'm going to go. So I went over to his place, and he had shot himself a nice turkey. He didn't shoot it. He actually arrowed himself a nice turkey. And he's doing some taxidermy on that turkey. He's doing the turkey fan, the beard, the spurs, and that kind of stuff. And he's having a piece of custom woodwork made and all that. But he needed some help fanning out the tail fan and pinning it and to let it dry. And I've never done that before. And it was really, really cool. And I made a little post about it on my Instagram. But it was really cool to help out a really good friend and to do something I've never done before. And that was really awesome. And I begged him. I was like, dude, let's do a podcast about your turkey hunting. Because he's only done it for a couple of years. He just doesn't want to do a podcast. So that's kind of a bummer. But there are a lot of guys that are out there turkey hunting. And a few guys, like I said, going up on the Rainy River, doing some fishing up there. You're tougher than me. I was joking around with some friends. I said, yeah, it'd probably be easier just to do like a drop shot style right off your anchor rope. If you need that much lead to keep your crawlers on the bottom. Sorry about that. I didn't need another sip here. Tonight's LaCroix is, or this morning's LaCroix is black raspberry. I also have a limoncello. What's your favorite LaCroix? Let me know. That'd be kind of cool. I don't know if you drink it or not, or if you got a different sparkling or bubbly water that you drink. I'll tell you what, man, if you're trying to quit drinking pop, this is the stuff. This is the way to go. The first few half a dozen cans, maybe a little bit bitter, whatnot, but you get used to it, and man, shit is good. It is really good. So, I guess that's about all I have right now. Excuse me. And just bringing you Classic Patrick. Classic Patrick. That's what we got to do here on the Lone Angler. Just be me. And that's what I've been doing. And like I said, I had a little bit of a hiatus because I really didn't have much to talk about. So that happens from time to time. Was I feeling guilty about it? A little tiny bit. But after I just talked out everything, looking back to move forward, hey, maybe I needed to take a little pause. It happens. Anyway, I'm going to get out of here. If you want to support the Lone Angler, you can go to buymeacoffee.com/Lone Angler. $5. I've got pins. I've got stickers. My pins, they're only like an inch or an inch and a half, but they're just old classic metal pins. They're awesome. Pretty cool. I got some little stickers. I might even have some Panfish Pursuers P3 plastics I can give out. I might even draw you some art. It's only $5. If you drop me 10, well, then you get double. You might get a piece of art and some plastics, and you'll get 2 stickers, 2 pins. You know the drill. So if you want to do that, you can go to buymeacoffee.com and hit me up there, or I am on Cash App and Venmo. If you do Cash App or Venmo, make sure to what would be the best way? You can either type in your mailing address there in the little memo if it's long enough. I'm not 100% sure on that. Or I also have PayPal too. Or you can just find me on on Instagram and send me a message with your address, and I will get some stuff out to you. I mail all that stuff out on Fridays, just because by the time I get home from work, the post office is closed, and depending on what I ship to you, my shipping costs kind of vary. So, hey, it is what it is. I send out on Fridays. So, with that being said, I'm going to get out of here. You guys have a tremendous Monday. Mondays are the best. You know why? Because you're back at work. Most people think that sucks, but if you look at it like, hey, I'm making money again, instead of being off and spending it, I'm back. I'm making money again. That's how I look at it. Let your Monday shine. Have a good one, and thank you again for listening to the Lone Angler Podcast.